Morning, my subscribers, my viewers. Today, our menu is Moimoi, and this Moimoi, I'll be making it from beans flour. So, got beans flour from the market, from the store. So, I'll be preparing the Moimoi from the flour. I'll be using Shakshuka and crayfish. Let's learn how to make this yummy, sumptuous moi moi together from the scratch. It's promised to be very, very educative, very, very interesting. All right, let's get to the kitchen. Okay, I talked about shakshuka and I'll be using a whole lot of onions because it's moi moi. So this is me chopping the onions. I'll actually chop a whole lot of it. So chop lot of onions for the moi moi. It's just like making beans for onions eaters. You use a lot of onions. Okay. So, but if you are not the type that loves eating onions, you can create it. If you don't like seeing onions, you can actually create the onions or you blend the onions and add to the moi moi. But for your moi moi to be delicious and come out well, you already know that you need to add a lot of onions to eat beside other ingredients. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, this is the eggs I'll be using for the shakshuka. Wash your eggs carefully. Wash it clean before break it into the plate. All right, I'd already prepared my fresh tomato paste. So break your eggs into clean plates this way. Break the quantity that you want depending on the quantity of beans flour you used and the quantity of moi moi you intend to use. So this my pot on the fire just added vegetable oil. So you can use vegetable granite or olive oil. Added a pinch of salt. Let me add my onions to it. Okay, before now add my fresh tomato paste. So I'll be making the shakshuka to add to mix for my moi moi to make it more delicious. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, just adding my fresh tomato paste. You can see it. Stir it together and allow it fry for a while to achieve the red color, the color that I want. Okay, so frying it in plenty vegetable oil. Okay, let me beat my eggs and add it into my egg is fresh eggs. You can see in the color. So after beating the eggs this way, ensure that your fresh tomato or your tomato is fried to the level you want. I'm using dehydrated pepper, so but I'm pounding it and I'm not milling it. All right, add a little seasoning cubes before adding the eggs to the steaming pot of the fresh tomato. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, because I just added the eggs and I want it to form normal like shakshuka. That's why I was stirring it stylishly. You can see the shakshuka is forming and it's beautiful when it's fully formed so that you have your fully formed shakshuka and you can find it inside your moi moi. All right, so this is my additional onions. That one I wanted to be very fresh. So as I've just added it, I'll stir it and bring down my shakshuka. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, let's go and bring the beans flour and mix it. Okay, so this is the beans flour. Okay, so I'll be mixing it with hot water that I had already boiled. So, but I don't know if you want to mix yours with cold water, whatever water you want to mix. But mine I mix with hot water. All right, so this is the hot water I'm adding using kettle to my beans flour. If you're not too sure of where you got the beans flour from, or so that it's not been that it's been there for a while, you can filter it to ensure it doesn't have debris or weevil. But mine is just freshly prepared, that's why I didn't filter it. So, but if you buy it in a store and you don't know when it was prepared, please filter it to ensure that it has. So I'll add water until I achieve the texture I need. And you know that moi moi could be so hard if you make it very strong. So the paste I'm making will not be that strong. So once I'm sure that I have made it evenly mixed, that's when I'll add my shakshuka. But remember, I'll be adding a lot of crayfish to my moimoi this morning. So, all right, so I'm ready. Let me add my shakshuka to the beans. Okay, the beans, the paste, the moimoi. Oh, you can already see how it's changing the color. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. So I'll add everything together, then I'll mix it evenly. Then I'll add my crayfish. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, it's simple to make your moimoi from home. You can make it, you can decide to make it with palm oil, but today I decided to make mine with shakshuka. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, you can try this at home. It's very safe and it's simple to make. All right, where's my crayfish? Okay, I'm adding my well-pound crayfish to my beans paste. Now it's no longer flour, it's down paste because it makes some adding a little seasoning cubes. You add salt, add everything to taste before you now begin to put it in a plate or in a sylphion or in whatever pack wrapping stuff that you want to use. But I'll be using an enamel plate. We'll do this together and we'll cook it. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, I hope you've tasted it. See, at this point, I've changed the spoon. That other spoon will be easier to scoop with it. Okay, so this is my enamel plate. Now, why I can't put it to be full is because when you start boiling it, it rises. So it won't be at the level, all of them will get to be almost full. So if you put it full, so as you begin to boil it, it will pour. It will get full and it will eventually pour. The viewers, their subscribers, this moimoi is made from beans flour and beans flour is made from beans. So cooking it won't just be a fanfare. You cook it as though you're cooking beans for it to be done. If not, you'll be eating half done or undone moi moi, which can affect your tummy. All right. After putting in all my container, I take time to cover it. So this is why I like this container. It has covers, so you can also use a plastic container or a bag or any film you want to use. Okay, so this is how I'm laying it in the pot. I lay it step by step. And my water is already boiling on fire because once I put this pot on fire, I'll be adding the hot water to it. So that's where how I was taught how to make moi moi. Okay, so this is me adding water from the kettle. So in a situation where I use seal film or cellophane, I will boil the water in the pot. Then once it's done, I'll now be dropping it inside because it has to go into hot water. Okay, so I've covered the lid. Let's check if it's done. So this is my first check. No, it's not done. See, it's not done. It's still rising and the color is not perfect. All right, so let's continue to cook it again. La la. So you cook the small more until it's done. Now you can see that the color has changed from the initial one. So this one shows that the moimoi is done. Sometimes it will be done and it can even crack on the surface. Dear viewers, dear subscribers, thank you for always taking your time to watch my videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Let's continue to learn how to make healthy food with available resources. You can see the shakshuka inside. This moimoi is delicious. It's yummy. Let's break it. Please allow it to get cold a little before you eat. I know it's yummy. You can resist it. Have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.